wonder what that would feel like to get applause. It's the only time I get applause for anything is like whenever I manually put it into a stream. I spoke at a financial planning key speaker. I was the key speaker at a lecture for government employees, and I got all of one guy clapping out of 200.
Oh, that's rude.
It's
No, it's
insulting
not.
when it's just the one.
Well, here's the thing.
Is he slow clapping? Was it sarcastic clapping?
No, he's the guy who came up to me afterwards and was like, "Hey, I really appreciate you actually being like truthful about, money and not telling everybody, yeah, you're going to be rich if you do this, and this." Because I basically told all of them, like,
then.
I had them come up and I had them explain like their financial situation. And there was a few guests that I was allowed to look at their, taxes and portfolio. And I explained to them why they're fucking stupid for the decisions they make, not them themselves. Not them themselves.
Okay. That dude seemed like a legit fan. I've experienced the opposite, where it's one person sarcastically clapping because they hate you and want everybody else to, just experience that. There was this bar that my band played at, and they didn't want us to play. They wanted to watch the game. So after we stopped, it was just very sarcastic, slow clapping from one guy. It was good times, man.
That's all. I did get a lot of audible mumbling that I couldn't understand. So I just went, and when the best part was my boss is sitting on the side and she's just going like this. And then I went, all right, peace, see y'all later. I'm out. I wanted to see if I could like give people like the stream, but it's hosted and like it's not like a like a YouTube thing. It's like one of those portals that they have. So I wish I could have had that out there. I'll try to get a recording of it, possibly. But it was fun. It was definitely fun, and they didn't expect that way. Like everybody was in their suits and ties, and I came in a Star Trek Captain Picard shirt that looked like an old band shirt that said Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
You should show them exactly what to do with their money. That's good advertising.
Well, that's kind of what I did. I did kind of tell them like investments to make and like, diversifying over minimum risk, large reward stocks, because that very rarely works.
Merch.
It just doesn't. People try to always get rich quick schemes, but anywho, we are here.
I imagined it a little bit differently. Sorry for interrupting. No. When you said a Captain Picard shirt, I thought you meant like his uniform from the show, and I just thought that would be so awesome if this dude gets up, just tells it like it is in a Picard uniform.
Yeah, it's sad. Like I don't have the Picard, but I do have the Deep Space Nine one. I do have the shirt, but I don't have the actual like pants and all that stuff. But I should have wore a captain shirt. I should have done it. Maybe if they invite me back, which will never happen. Yeah. Well, hopefully Bob comes back in here. But yeah, so tonight
camera issues, so hopefully.
That's true. So tonight we're gonna go over some things that are happening in the world right now with at least my favorite medium, which is comic books, but the subgenre, as I call it, even though it's the main genre that people watch, is their movies. I always look at the movies as like extra. Like I don't care if they do great or I would like them to, but it doesn't really affect me because I just read. So but Warner Brothers is up for sale right now, and the DC fandom is just crying foul and just how like this is awful for the DCU, all those things. And I'm like, guys, like Warner Brothers, actually, they're like probably the only movie company that made money this year with some of their releases. Like
they did have some good ones. I mean, they had some wins.
Yeah, they had some decent movies that were not DC related.
Yeah, non-DC.
Like Sinners, I know did pretty well. What else did they have? They had with The Conjuring was one of them.
Minecraft is theirs.
Is Minecraft theirs? Yeah.
Chicken Jockey one. They've had a lot of the hits of this year.
Yeah, it seemed like whenever I was looking at some of the movies, it seemed like a lot was theirs. Like F1 was with the Apple and them, but it was sublet by them. Weapons was them. So like there's been some decent stuff that's come out. I dislike the whole feeling that everything is dead, and we're just walking through piles of bodies and film that's on the ground. Maybe I'm not the film buff as other guys are, because I fully admit that I'm not. I don't pay attention to the outside world nearly as much as everybody else does. But this is one genre that I do pay attention to. And I feel that there's some good that can come of these things. I don't know for the DCU. After Superman, which I did like. I liked Superman. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I liked it. I thought it was a fun movie. I don't know if James Gunn, though, is the right guy to head up everything. He might be a good guy to make some movies in there, but I'm not sure if he's the guy you want speaking and saying stuff. Because every time, like, I try not to pay attention to these guys, right? I try not to listen to them. I try because it makes me feel differently about them, and I try not to pay attention to it. But every fucking time I listen to this guy, I'm just like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Just stop talking. But yes. Anyway, that was a lot in the intro. But anyway, we're here with Lunchbox Warren. What's up, Warren? How you doing after I said a whole bunch of things that I shouldn't have?
I'm doing great. I had spent the entire day in a monsoon rainstorm directing boomers at an estate sale at Howditch Park, and it was just as insane as it sounds, and I'm very happy to not be doing that right now. But James, I think one of the biggest, like, I've loved everything James Gunn has done, but I do think he overhypes things. I do think he sets people up to think that something's going to happen, and then when something does happen and it's not bad, people weren't expecting that. And I think Peacemaker's finale, even though I personally think it was well done, well written, well acted, character arcs, there were some good moments. I thought the band stuff was a bit much, but it wasn't what people were thinking was going to come on. And he keeps doing this thing, like after Superman, it's like, you have to watch Peacemaker. I'm literally taking Superman out of the movie theater early so people could see Superman and then go into Peacemaker. And it's like, well, you're not really helping people who like, not everyone can watch Peacemaker. So there's stuff like that where it's like, you can't follow up your PG movie with a super rated R TV series and say, hey, everybody, if you want to know what's going on, go to that. Because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be offended by the change of tone between Superman and Peacemaker. But yeah.
Well, I know, like, my son, my youngest, who's 7, he loved the Superman movie. But that was because he was at the movies. We went to the drive-in to see that with him. But I mean, that's not something I'm be like, all right, buddy, you want to know what happens next in this? Okay, we have to watch the hardcore sex scenes first, because that's what I want you to see.
This episode's a little rough.
It is. It is. But I mean, that's the other thing, though. Like, if you don't watch something for yourself, that's the only thing you hear about is that particular scene from that episode, and the aristocratic and fucking white universe that apparently is the great, up and hailing universe that everybody wants to live in. Those are like the two things that you hear from that, but there was a lot more that happened in that show. I liked season 1, season 2. I haven't finished yet, but I liked season 1 better, but that's just me. But Gray, how are you tonight, buddy?
Yeah.
How's everything going for you?
I'm doing good, and I am ready to white knight and simp for James Gunn. What can I say? I absolutely love what this dude has been doing with this, and I think Peacemaker is exactly what it should be. I loved season 2 so much more, but man, it is a reflection on character and depression, and man, it spoke to me on so many different levels. And just I think a lot of people are trying to put the expectations of the MCU on the DCU, where they're essentially saying that, like, every one of these has to be knocked out of the park. They're not necessarily looking for that. These all have different budgets. Again, like, a lot of people are talking shit on Clayface again, and how dare you? You're getting my two loves together. You're getting kind of horror movies, specifically body horror, and then you're getting practical effects. Man, this is going to be amazing. I cannot wait for a superhero themed body horror film. That to me just seems amazing. And the fact that they're going somewhat low budget, I absolutely love that. But yeah, I love the actual tone of this. And people are kind of hearing little bits and clips of what James Gunn is saying, and they're blowing it way out of proportion. Like this whole cameo thing. We had a giant fucking cameo, and I guess nobody gave a shit because they thought it's going to be an echo of the first season where, okay, it's literally going to be the last frame and we're going to do this thing. But instead, this is like the most amazing send off to a group of characters that I didn't know that I needed. Like Cena from the Suicide Squad is like the worst character. He's not somebody that I wanted to go on an emotional journey, actually learn about. But man, where he ends, it is amazing. I absolutely love what he's done with that. So what can I say? But yeah, if you hate the fact that everyone is saying it's dead, just wait. Every single channel that I'm seeing right now is saying James Gunn is getting fired. He is the new Kathleen Kennedy. So it has started anew, and it's going much harder, especially with this whole.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah,
just wait.
So the sale. There's many repercussions that could happen. One, they could either say we're not taking on your contract, which is totally available to do, and then Warner Brothers would have to pay him out whatever they have for. I don't know how that would work. They'd probably have to modify the contract if it's based on sales and percentages, or if they have flat rates for movies to be made over the 10 years or how many ever years it is. The new people could just be like, we want to start over. But usually when a company does this, they assess, they see what happens, and then they go from there. It depends on what they want to do with the new IPs that they just bought. That is, up in the air. We don't know the conversations. A lot of people, the thing that I usually have a problem with is, especially whenever you see the shows where guys talk about this and they say, this is what's happening. And unless you're there and like, we don't know. We could say we're pretty sure this is what's going to happen. And, you could be right on with it, but until it happens, we just don't know. But new panelist here, Will, we'll call it. Do you want to be called Charles? Because I figure Charles makes the most sense.
Yes.
He is Charles. That's an MSK mistake.
Yes.
Sorry for bringing that over here, Charles.
No, I was actually going to say Williscredia, but then I stopped myself and was like, no, I'm just Charles. How are you tonight, my man?
I'm good. Just don't call me late for dinner, I guess is the only thing.
I have only called one person late for dinner. And it didn't make any sense, so go for it.
Yeah, all right. As someone who's I don't even have comic book fatigue. I have like comic book a coma. I haven't been watching a lot of the TV series. Like I think having to keep up with what ends up being 30, 40 hours of things for future movies to make sense. It's a bit difficult, but I think if Warner Brothers were to scale things back and have a more modest approach to filmmaking and anything else on their slate, James Gunn might be the best person for that because he has experience writing, directing, making, cult classic horror movies that he's worked with budgets that aren't, $200-300 million. I think if he helps them segue into smaller budget things, there's not this big $1 billion expectation where they throw $50 million on something that is kind of a gamble, but you don't need it to make $750 million. I think if these studios were to kind of scale things back and hope for $100 million, that it when something really hits, it's really going to hit. And I think they just someone needs to make the first move, whether it's Marvel or Warner, and just scale it back. Just to stop throwing $500 million into things and being pissed when it only makes $600 million. Like you can't keep that going. It's going to be a failure on every front.
Yeah, we know Marvel's not doing that with the budgets that we're seeing for these movies. Yeah. And I've looked that I'm not going to say I used any, government or IRS server acclamation, but I saw that a lot of the stuff that they for their permits, Superman got a lot of money back. They actually got a lot of money back before they had anything out on what they claimed. So I've looked at other things from other movies, but that was one I was curious about. I was very curious about how much, because a lot of the times they get these grants backs and like stuff that like where they're filming, depending on how much money the city puts up and allows them to use for, I can't remember. You'd have to look at everything. I mean, I could show you off camera, but yeah, it's you're right. If they don't balloon these budgets, like, because you look at like the slate coming out for the MCU, you got like Doomsday, and then I think there's a Spider-Man movie coming out beforehand, but then like Doomsday and then Secret Wars. The amount of people just in that movie and the budget for the movie,
yeah,
it's more than a movie is made, except for like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
sorry, more than that.
The reports for Doomsday is over a billion already.
That's the reports.
That's the reports. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's already over $1 billion.
You should be able to make one movie for less than what you pay Robert Downey Jr. Like an entire movie, you should be able to make with his salary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Japan does it. They, I mean, Godzilla -1, that was a great movie. I mean, I think it was $19 million.
Those movies do very well because they kind of scale their things back.
One thing I think is interesting, though, is when we're talking about scaling back, one of the things that's Marvel, or Feige's mentioned, I believe it was Feige, that after Secret Wars, they're going to do the reboot, essentially, and they're going to be able to recast these roles, which means cheaper actors. So that might be part of their scaling back, is that after the Secret Wars, doing the reboot, okay, well, let's get some fresh faces. We don't have to pay them as much. We don't need Chris Evans. We don't need Robert Downey. Let's start doing. Maybe that's part of it, because there is something. You're absolutely right. They're going to have to scale back sometime. Like everyone's going to have to scale back just because of the way the business is now. So.
Yeah, they're not going to. Last year was like the worst modern year after COVID, and they're not going to match last year, like all of box office. They need to figure out that, people aren't going to the theater the same way anymore. What do we do? And the answer is not spend more money. Yeah, that's the short answer.
Yep. Hey, Bob, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing all right. Just having some camera problems, but I'm here. So
it's okay. So what's your opinion on all of this? I know you follow movies probably. I know you do a lot more than I do. Obviously,
Bob, when it comes to the DCU, I liked Creature Commandos. I did like Peacemaker season 1. I liked James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I was very disappointed in Superman. I thought there was a lot to like about Superman, but I was very disappointed in the story. The humor, James Gunn's humor, I didn't think that it worked very well for that character. Didn't like some of the changes made to the parents, both his Kryptonian and his Earth parents. So, I mean, there were a few things here and there that I didn't like. And to be honest, some of that has to do with my own expectations. I had very high expectations for Superman, and it did not meet them. So I was very disappointed in that film. As far as Peacemaker season 2 goes, I saw the first episode. I haven't been able to pick it back up since then. Kind of lost me after the whole party scene, but I do plan on picking it back up because I do think there were some interesting ideas there. And I've heard some people say that it got much better as it went on. I just haven't had a chance to pick it back up. As far as what the future of DC holds, if Warner Brothers were in fact to be sold, I think a lot of it's going to depend on what happens here with the next couple of projects. I think with Lanterns, which I'm actually very excited to see Lanterns. I think there's some real potential there. If Lanterns is a success and Supergirl is mildly successful, and I say mildly, I don't think that film has to hit 500 million or anything like that. I think it just needs to hit a decent amount and have people talking about it. If it does, then I think James Gunn's universe is alive. If it doesn't, then I think, and this is all assuming Warner Brothers gets bought out, I do think whoever does buy it might reassess it and might consider leaning more on Matt Reeves' Batman universe as opposed to James Gunn's. And We could see maybe more standalone projects as opposed to this shared universe. But we'll see what happens. I am real excited about Lanterns. I think there's some real potential there, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. I think, though, that it goes one movie more. I think Man of Tomorrow. I think that's the line. If Man of Tomorrow is not successful, because obviously they're moving that up, then I could understand. Them moving in a different direction. That's if it gets sold. I know that the Warner's turned down a couple of offers. I don't know the exact asking price. I know what the offer price was, but I don't know what the asking price was. I don't know if that's been made public. I have no idea.
It'll be at least $5, at least.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about doing it, but I am very strapped for cash right now at the moment. So $5 is out of my wheelhouse.
We could probably all pool $1 together, right?
Chip in.
We could
Yeah.
make our own movie.
We can all be the Warner Brothers.
I don't know. Again, I guess I'm white knighting this, but man, I just I enjoyed Superman way more than I thought I would.
So did
generally,
I
I kind of find the character a Boy Scout, and it's like, give me something darker, like give me Batman, anything. But man, I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I didn't think I would. I basically heard like the whole internet is the bad guy. I thought they were gonna do like the whole She-Hulk thing with it, but man, I really like his take on it. And then the other thing, and I cannot get over how much Peacemaker 2 like actually meant to me. And I don't want to repeat of that first season. I want to see something different, and we got it. And it's setting up a whole lot of things for the future. But kind of the thing is, we've only seen Gunn projects as of right now, but the next one isn't going to be, and then it's going to expand out beyond that. So
correct.
I'm looking forward to what we're going to get with this, but I think it was kind of strategic in what they're going to launch it with. I think Charles is right too. Like, keep the budget down, and it seems like they're doing that with Clayface and crap. There was one other one that they mentioned that seems a little bit more low budget, but we'll see.
Well, I think that is very key. It depends. Like I said, I think Man of Tomorrow, when that comes out, because I know they're moving that up, and I think that's the one though. Like, if that doesn't succeed as being the next major budgeted movie for you, and not even getting to Batman, Wonder Woman, because like I've been reading DC comics since 1985, and I look at it as you have to have the Trinity has to be there, regardless of what anybody feels in the movie industry. If you're going to attract the fan and the casual fan, you have to do the things, place them in set that people know. Because you're always making movies for casual fans, because the hardcore fans will always be there. They will always show up. They always have. So I feel like the Trinity has to be there. And I thought that they did a good job with Superman being as the character, the character of Superman. There was things in the movie that I didn't like. There was things in the movie that I loved. I didn't have me personally, I didn't have a problem with the story, because it just reminded me of like 1992 Lex Luthor, like splitting fucking Metropolis in half because he was having a bad day and he hates everybody. I mean, so it didn't really bother me like that, but I can understand people's trepidation with the movie. I can understand it. Like, if you came in and told me a bunch of reasons why you didn't like it, I could be like, I could understand that. But I think it's my overall enjoyment when, like I said, I'm an easier movie person, because when it comes down to it, as long as the comic books are there, I don't give a shit personally. Like, I don't care. I'm not one of those people that was like, I've waited this long to see these characters on the big screen. It's like, no, I saw what they were doing back when I was a kid, and I wasn't so thrilled with those. Like, I mean, the Superman 1 was cool, and Batman 89 was great, but there was other, made for TV movies and other movies that came out that weren't so great. But I think you all make a lot of fair points. I think the budgets are the main thing. And for the people out there that are always like, this has to make $1 billion, that has to make $1 billion. It's like, okay, first of all, no, it doesn't. It might have to do that if you're spending, $500 million on everything. But if you, like you said, with the budgets, if you keep it down, and that's not aiming for low, that's aiming for it to succeed. That's aiming for it to succeed. You still want it to make more money. You still want it to. But if you conflate everything, what comes with conflated budgets, conflated egos, conflated stories, conflated everything? We've seen it. It always happens. It always happens. It's never not happened.
Well, there's also a big difference between like Marvel budgets have been inflated, especially as of late, because they're having massive problems behind the scenes. It's one thing to spend $400 million on a movie from a director who has a singular vision and it just costing them that much to make it, than it is having a movie has 3 directors in different time periods, or they're rewriting the endings. Like Spider-Man, for example. Spider-Man had to change its ending or change its script because they moved Doomsday to next December. It was supposed to be this December, and they moved it to next December. Right. That doesn't sit well with me when you're talking about a movie, because every time we start hearing about changing scripts and problems behind the scene, the movie turns out to be just a broken mess that's just not worth watching. And so when you start hearing about that kind of stuff, Marvel's has a massive problem with their organization right now. And with how their movies are being put together out behind the scenes. With Gunn, Man of Tomorrow, if they sold tomorrow, like they're not going to sell by tomorrow. So Man of Tomorrow will most likely be full in production, and we're going to get that movie for sure.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Like 2 years.
So I agree with you. It will set like Supergirl, Lanterns, and Clayface are all 3 films that Gunn didn't write. So that's going to be very interesting to see 3 different visions. We've only been seeing Gunn visions because everything has been directed by Gunn. So those 3 will be kind of big ones on setting the pace on how this universe is going. And then Man of Tomorrow will be kind of a crescendo. I did think it was interesting, though, beforehand when you were showing us the tier list, they had Iron Man 2 was out before Thor and Captain America.
Yeah.
So we're almost following that same kind of deal. Superman, Iron Man, then they had the Hulk movie, we'll get Supergirl, and then we're going to get Man of Tomorrow before we get Wonder Woman or Batman. I hope that we get some positive news on Batman soon, but at the same time, though, I don't rush it. I mean, they're definitely, we're not going to get Batman in 2027.
Well,
that's when Reeves is coming out.
That's what I mean. Do you want to put that out whenever that comes out? Like, or do you want to wait till after that runs its course? Like,
I say put it out whenever you put it out, because I don't think having Reeves Batman and Gunn's Batman at the same year would hurt the films. I really don't think so. They're 2 totally different kinds of films. If you had one like in March and then one at the end of the summer, you're not going to run. I don't think you're going to run into any kind of confusion or problems with it.
That might be, but I think the normal movie going fan might not look at that. They might be like wondering, what's this? Why are we seeing 2 Batman movies? I'm not saying that will happen, but that could happen. That could. But I just hope they do it when it's done. When it's done. Yeah. Make sure the story's good and put it out when it's done.
I'm not a fan of the Reeves Batman myself. I think I'm not a fan of the Batman. When Bob mentioned that they would, could possibly switch up to that, I would hate that. I don't want him in Gunn's universe. I don't like the take on it. Penguin made me enjoy it more. But as for the movie and the take of Batman itself, I'm not a fan of the Reeves universe. So I just keep that over there. And
yeah. So Gray, what do you think about the at least Marvel Cinematic Universe right now? Because I will say this is one thing. The amount of talk that goes through the DC universe with only one movie happening and all of this talk of Peacemaker. What was the last Marvel show that happened? Did anybody even fucking talk about it?
Marvel Zombies.
Like they do
better than
Peacemaker?
What If.
But did they talk about it? Like how many people talk about Peacemaker? Or
I have literally heard one person say, like, when did that come out? And that's the only anything I've ever heard about.
Even
Marvel
with Daredevil,
zombies.
you know what I mean? Like everybody was at first was super excited because they had the same people.
But I
as
think
the Netflix
Ironheart
one, and then
came out after
came
Daredevil,
out.
didn't it?
Right? Yeah, it did. And Ironheart
Yeah, it
was atrocious. I'm sorry.
Nobody's talking about that.
I watched some of it. I wanted to see what their take on Mephisto was, and I was like, oh, this should be, you know, kind of funny. Sacha Baron Cohen, like, it should be interesting. And you could tell he was like, I'm making money, so I have to do this. It was so, like, why, if you're gonna have, you think Mephisto, right? You think devil, you think, so we're gonna introduce him in the Ironheart show.
Well, that's the other thing. So I would put Peacemaker up against like any one of those shows, especially anyone that has 2 seasons. For me, it's more consistent than Loki. I understand why people like it, but I think that would be like the closest to it. Other than that, give me Peacemaker all day.
Yeah, I liked Loki season 1. Season 2 to me was just kind of like meh.
I mean, there is one Marvel season 1 that's above all the others, and that's X-Men 97. But I think
yes, X-Men 97.
Season 2 is just going to be trash. We'll see.
Hopefully not. But so what do you feel about like the movies going forward with the MCU? We have a Spider-Man movie and then the big Doomsday. I did not care about Robert Downey Jr. coming back. Like, I just thought that was like, I don't know. That doesn't sit well with me. Like, we're going to make you people have been wanting Dr. Doom, like actual Dr. Doom, for a very,
it's a dude in a
long
mask.
time. I understand.
You could have anyone under there.
I understand.
Bring in the dude from V for Vendetta, the dude from Agent Smith or whatever.
Okay. But my point is this: you have to show him without the mask first. You have to reintroduce what happened to this guy, right? And why he is the way he is, why he wears the mask, why he does those things, right? Because he's a very complex villain. He just is. But the problem I have is it could have been done if there was no variance at play in the Marvel universe. But how many people are just going to be like, I would rather him just be Iron Man?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming they're doing the one. Well, there's a couple different storylines where they're intertwined. Yes. I'm assuming they're doing one of those. So so you're gonna kind of get that, but we'll see. But when you're asking like what interests me here, like none of that. I really don't care. I'm not really caring that the brothers came back to do these last 2 Avengers thing. The only thing that kind of excites me is there is this kind of rumbling. So we're never going to get Blade. That would excite me. I want to see Mahershala with a sword. That'd be awesome. He was in Marvel in the animated things, but that's about it. But the one thing that does
screw up Blade, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, it's the other thing that's kind of like that. There's this rumor of a possible X-Men movie. That kind of intrigues me just because I'm sure they're not going to be using like stars at the top of their game. They're going to introduce some people, and I hopefully think would actually take on the characters in a good way. But
yeah, I think it is going to be new people. I believe it would make sense if it comes after Secret Wars. Then it's going to have to be because
it'll be new people with multiple film contracts. So that way,
yes,
it's like we're paying you $100 million, but it's only $10 million per movie.
Like it's got to be new people because if they call it Secret Wars, right? Both Secret Wars had Battle World. One was you got taken off of this world and you got set here. The other one, which I think they're adapting because they've done kind of a lot of the Hickman stuff, is that with the incursions that we saw from Multiverse of Madness, that was the Hickman storyline in the Avengers and New Avengers and I think it was like 2012 to 2015. And that led into Secret Wars, where basically the Beyonders, which won't be in the movies because I don't see how they'll do the Beyonders, and they're probably not going to do Molecule Man, which is just fucking stupid to me. Like, it's just like let's do these big projects, but we don't want anybody too powerful in there, like, because then people are going to want to actually see what the hell happens with these characters. So we're not going to do that. That would just be dumb. But they're going to have to like piece together this world that is basically destroyed, and that's probably how they start over. And I mean, I would hope that they start all anew. I would hope so. I would hope that they start with new people. I really don't want to see Pedro Pascal anymore, like in anything.
Well, did Feige say it would be one timeline after Secret Wars, or what did I think?
Yeah, he said that.
He said it,
yeah.
So you want to hear something hilarious though? Like, I had to go to a new pharmacy because my pharmacy for my medications they closed down, and they were like, "Hey, we moved you to this pharmacy," right? So I was like, "Okay, cool." Went in there. I'm waiting to get my prescriptions filled. I look over at the magazine rack, and what do I see? Pedro Pascal's face, right? And it says, Pedro Pascal Coloring and Activity Book. And I went, fucking Christ, what is this? Why? Why is this a thing? And then I bought it, and I'm sending it to MSK. So it's pretty great. Because Savage Dad was like, go buy that. Let's send it to him. I was like, all right, I'll buy it. That's awesome. Ridiculous. But yeah, so Charles, what do you have? Like, I know you said you're in like superhero coma. Is there anything that Marvel could do to bring you back? Or is it just at the point where it's just like, dude, who cares?
Dude, it's weird because a decade ago, they could not miss. Them playing it safe was like a 4-star movie. I think they need to go back to releasing the 5-person, Captain America one year, Iron Man another year, Thor another year, and then they all lead up to Avengers. Now we have Fantastic Four and more Avengers movies where like can't we have these characters have their own movie for a little bit and have the public be invested in these characters and not feel like I don't know. I don't know this major scale type of movie where you're going to have to reintroduce things. It's going to be sloppy because how much information you're going to get in that 2 hours with characters and a storyline that, we're just picking up from scratch. Do the thing that you were doing. If Marvel is anything to look at, it's that stretch from 2008 to 2018 where there were all these singular movies, but led into these team up movies that were like, they were a big deal. Like I might have skipped a movie every now and again, but I definitely caught up with all of them prior to an Avengers movie. And since 2019, they've lost the plot. And I think they're trying to speedrun all of this, and they should know it's not working.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably the most well put way that I've heard it in a while. Like, because you're 100% correct. Like, whenever like the first Iron Man movie came out, for me as a comic book reader, I was like, this is interesting. They're taking like basically like a C-list character and making it. And I was going, why aren't they, doing Spider-Man? Why aren't they doing this? Why? And then when I saw it, I was like, holy shit! Like, this is awesome. This is fantastic. And it's one of the few times that it turned a character from the comics that was, down and out pretty much at the time into a major star. Like Robert Downey Jr. fit that character. And that was a huge risk casting Robert Downey Jr. as well. Like, that was a huge risk at the time.
I don't have much knowledge of the comics and everything, but when they were coming out every year, every half year, or whatever, when Guardians came out, I remember thinking, oh, space, this is weird. I don't associate that with comics. And sure enough, went to see it within 2 days of it being released. And like, yep, okay. I didn't know who these people were 2 days ago, but I need to know what happens to them moving forward. It's something that you'd be surprised how a 2-hour movie on someone that people aren't really sure about, you can win them over with one film.
Yeah. And I think also like people always talk about, well, you don't want to always take lesser known characters. It's like, well, sometimes you do, because then even the people that know the characters aren't like how Bob, you had like with Superman, how you said it might have been your own, in your own mind, like what didn't meet your expectations. Well, if they make a movie about, Cyborg or something like that, you really don't have many expectations other than, is the movie good or bad? But if the movie is good, it could totally change how you feel about that character in movies moving forward. Like, and that happened with Guardians, like you said. That was a 100% perfect example of taking basically a team that I don't even know if that was the team in comics at the time. Like, I don't know if that was them. That might have, because I know there was a bunch of different Guardians, and I wasn't reading Guardians at the time. I wasn't. But I know that there was a bunch of different ones and a bunch of different teams before that. So I don't know if they exactly were that specific team. And it's interesting, man. Like, it's Marvel feels to me that they're investing so much money because the franchise got so big, it got so fucking huge that it's like you have to please, one, the actors, you have to please, two, all of these fans that may or may not want to. They're expecting something, and you're taking such big storylines that people know, like Secret Wars in 2015 when Hickman wrote it. That was huge, dude, for Marvel. I remember it was 9 issues. I remember when the first one came out. I remember when the second one came. Like, I remember those things. And I if you don't do it and do it the right way, you're running a massive risk of, one, alienating, and two, you're putting $2 billion into a budget of a movie, of 2 movies. And if you don't make the freaking, $1.52 billion back, I mean, this could not be very good for them.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I think if going up to Infinity War / Endgame, they had all of these separate stories that led into Endgame. And for the most part, Infinity War was the Thanos story. You were getting his story filled up. And you had Captain Marvel squeezed in between Infinity War and Endgame. So instead of having 15 characters that you want to introduce and start doing things with, you're going to waste too much time trying to set that one character up. And then, you have 14 left. Give them their own movie. Let people go figure things out and be affiliated and caught up with that. And when the movie comes out, the big group, you don't have to spend an exorbitant amount of time giving us their wants and needs and everything. It's just, okay, you've watched the 20 movies prior to this, and now we're just going to give this story rather than, this guy's name is Greg. He loves the color black. This is his wife. Oh, next thing you know, it's 45 minutes later. And it's like, what? There's 20 minutes left.
Yeah. It's just a lot. It's like a police lineup. This is what this guy does. Oh, who's that? Oh, we got to tell him that story. That's it. Yeah, you're right. You're right, man. You're right. Bob, what do you feel for the MCU moving forward as they announced, like we said, Spider-Man, another Spider-Man movie, and then 2 Avengers movies? Do you feel that's another thing? Do you feel that the characters that we just got from their multiverse saga warrant an Avengers level movie? Is this the Simu Liu Avengers movie?
Let's say I'm very excited about this.
Okay.
Now, okay. The problem with what they did was they didn't follow their own blueprint. They built all the way up to an Avengers event with Thanos and all of that. They needed to follow their own formula. And this kind of goes back to what Charles was saying, give them all their own movie. And this also goes back to kind of what you were saying, Lapsed, about how you can use lesser known characters. Let's have some good writing with some of these lesser known characters, give them their own movie and actually get us to care about them. And you build them up over a series of movies, and then it culminates in maybe a smaller Avengers event. Then you have another phase that builds up a little bit more and builds up to an even bigger Avengers event. And finally, you build up to the final, event down the road. With this, after Endgame, it felt like they didn't have a plan in place, and they were just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what stuck, and they were going to kind of just go with whatever stuck. There was no set plan in place, or at least it feels that way. Fantastic Four, I actually enjoyed Fantastic Four. To me, Fantastic Four felt like what a Phase 4 movie should have been. Kind of an introduction to the characters. We didn't really see tons of stuff about them, but we got to know them a little bit, and it didn't involve a whole bunch of other characters or anything like that. It was their story. We didn't see Captain America show up or the Hulk show up or any of that. It was the Fantastic Four. It was their movie. And that felt to me like what a Phase 4 movie should have been. And like I said, they just didn't follow their own blueprint. And by doing that, or failing to do that, we don't care about any of these characters. And kind of like what you said, Charles, we're gonna jump into this movie because they were building to something else. They scrapped it, and instead of starting all over, they're like, all right, well, let's just go straight into the big Avengers movie. And to me, this almost feels like the mistake that Warner Brothers made with the Snyder universe, where they just jumped straight into this grand event and threw everybody into Justice League. And they're like, okay, here's everybody. Now you get to know them. And it didn't work. It feels very rushed. They should, because they decided to start over and scrap the whole multiverse thing with Kang and all of that, then they should have just started again. I mean, granted, you didn't have to ignore everything that comes before, but just start again, smaller movies, get us to care about these characters and build. And it would have been fine. You didn't have to jump straight into Doomsday and all of that, because like you said, they're throwing a lot of money at this and a lot of people at this. And if this first one doesn't hit, they're up, you know what, creek. And
well, I mean, they had a fucking stream with just actor chairs for 5 hours. It went on for 5 hours.
What's sad is they could have done that whole stream in the shortened version that they released after all of that, the 2-minute video where they showed all of the chairs, and that would have been more impactful than having that 5-hour stream with 15 minutes revealing a new chair.
And plus, we're at the point, and you made me think of something. And Graham, Warren, I really want to hear Warren's opinion. And Gray, I think you'll have a very good grasp on this, just from the movie making process. Do you feel like what Charles saying, where they need to make these movies about the characters, and that warrants the team up? Now you have Doctor Doom, which I said people want to see Doctor Doom. Are they making this movie because people want to see Doctor Doom and have been clamoring for Doctor Doom? Because Doctor Doom is a big Fantastic Four villain, right? With the one Fantastic Four movie that we got, does that warrant Doctor Doom being put as the main bad guy because Kang went out and did, something that he wasn't supposed to do, the actor? And now you have this in there. Is that warranted? Like, does that even feel like this is where it should have, actually went to? Because the Fantastic Four, well, I think they hit on the story of the Fantastic Four very well. I thought it was boring. I thought that the action scene where they went to Galactus, I thought was amazing. I thought that whole 20-minute segment was amazing. But the 40 minutes to get there, I was sitting in a theater and I was like, all right, awesome. This is where it goes off. Fuck yes. And then that 20-minute segment ended and it went to me.
Have you seen anything about what they cut from that movie?
No, sir.
Sadly, there's so much like development, like is it Paul Walter Hauser, the Mole Man or whatever? He's in there a ton. They literally cut out, how do you possibly cut out an actor with the prestige of, I thought it would come to me while I was saying that. What was his name? John Malkovich.
John Malkovich. Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he was in that one.
They cut out a bunch of action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just so much. And then you kind of get it as that intro thing. So I come from a mixed household. My wife enjoyed Fantastic Four way more, and I enjoyed Superman more. So, there's something for everybody between these two, apparently. But still, I just wanted a little bit more. And when I hear what they cut out, I think you would have gotten a lot more development of everything. It seems like it would have been a lot more like that 20-minute section where it actually gave things time to move. I think they got scared because of how the other ones kind of went down this year with Brave New World not doing so well, and then Thunderbolts just kind of getting nothing. So I think they cut things down as bare to the bone as they could, and I think it needed more. I think it needed to breathe. I wasn't bored, but I wanted to actually connect with it. But Warren, you might have a different opinion than me. What you want to weigh in, sir?
Warren, what do you feel about, like, before we get, but what did you feel about the Doctor Doom? Because you've been reading, for a while as well. Obviously.
Yeah. To me, Doomsday is a nostalgia. It's more about the nostalgia and the names. They haven't done any build up for it. There's been no build up in the movies. Thunderbolts didn't set anything up. Fantastic Four didn't set anything up. Doom was practically brought in because what happened with Kang. And correct. I think we wouldn't have had Doomsday for another like 2 or 3 years because they would have been doing Kang movies to build up possibly towards this.
No, you're right, because Kang would have been doing shit, tampering with time, all that stuff. That's whenever Dr. Doom would have noticed.
And plus, to Charles' point, any of the solo films we've had I don't care about any of those characters. They did Captain America dirty with the Brave New World film that was really, he wasn't even in it. You guys mentioned earlier, this Marvel stuff is not about individual storytelling anymore. It's about setting up the next thing. And they spend so much time setting up the next thing that they don't allow anything to cook in its actual movie. You had a Captain America movie where Captain America was a side character. It was like the Incredible Hulk 2. Like he didn't have his own villain. He didn't have a purpose. It was just, he was there to fight, all these Hulk villains because they couldn't bring Hulk in. It was just, the whole thing seems rushed, and it really, their only thing they're banking on, like when Infinity War came up, the Infinity movie came up, we had all of this stuff building up to it, all of this great things. So we were excited. Now it's like we're going straight to the Super Bowl, and we haven't seen any of the teams play.
They haven't even done the players,
and now you're expecting a movie that, if it is true that the budget's over $1 billion, it needs to make close to $2.5 billion to be considered a success. It has to do this with no buildup, no setup, with characters that we don't give a shit about, and then they have to bring in nostalgia characters from the Foxverse, like the entire Fox X-Men crowd, and then Gambit, and essentially trying to pull what Deadpool pulled, which was, look, we're bringing all this cool nostalgia stuff and Deadpool. Let's go watch this and have fun. It's all, to me, it's like all I hear is names, but I don't hear any substance. I don't have any setup. I don't have any reason to go there except for if I want to see Robert Downey Jr. again, that the Russo brothers are back directing, and we're going to get to see the Fox X-Men, Picard, McKellen. We're going to get to see all those people coming back. It's like, well, I don't really care. I want to see a good movie. Like you're ruining what could have been a Avenger level threat villain in Doom. You could have been building him this entire time, but we're not. We're getting Robert Downey Jr. It's not even going to be the Doom. And after this is all said and done, are they just going to relaunch and give us a brand new Doom? Like, are we going to get like the Fantastic Four have left their world to come into our world? So now are they just going to be in our world? That means what? No Doom? Like, what's this reset going to look like? To me, they're not setting anything up, and to me, it just seems like a crap show of just throwing stuff at the wall kind of thing.
They've swapped places. Marvel now is doing what DC did in like the 2010s, and now DC is doing what Marvel did in the 2010s, and it's wild.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
You're very right, and I look at especially for Secret Wars, like Doomsday. I don't even know what the fuck that's going to be, to be honest. I just don't even know what that is, because like you have a list of actors that even if they got 2 minutes of time, right? 2 minutes of time, that's like 160 minutes of stuff. Like, so it's like, okay.
And like, imagine Endgame without the nostalgia. Like, imagine if we watch an Endgame, but you didn't give a shit about anything going on there because it wasn't set up.
Right.
Like there's no history,
And it's gonna be like, all this stuff happening with Doom, and then you're gonna be like, and Wolverine, and and this guy, and this guy, and this guy. Where Secret Wars, the one in 2015, was basically that you find out that the Beyonder from the original Secret Wars in '84 was just like a baby Beyonder. He was stupid, and that's kind of why the story didn't make sense. He wasn't like a fully grown, Beyonder at the point, and there's a whole race of Beyonders, and they're coming and they are going to fuck everything up, and they destroy everything. Like Doctor Doom goes out there and with Doctor Strange, and they defeat the Beyonders, and Dr. Doom makes the whole world in his image, right? That's where the planet comes back. That's where the 616 went to. And like, there was different places all over this battle world, right? And like the police force was a bunch of Thors, and like, there was just all this really cool shit. And Reed had a raft, like a life raft up in, and so many of our regular heroes were in it. And that's how they ended up going up against Dr. Doom, who had like this whole thing. Like, he was so powerful. There was a point where Thanos comes up to him, and he's just like, you're going to kneel before me. And he's like, Thanos, I do not kneel. And he's like, oh, really? You don't? I pulled out your skeleton. Now you're dead. So like, we're never going to get anything like that. But if they're going to reboot the universe, right, I could understand them doing a movie of that level. But Infinity War and Endgame already had that feel, right? And that was built up over so many years. This is just like, does anybody care if Kamala Khan has a scene where she's I am not taking this from you, Dr. Doom? Like, shut the fuck up. Go back to weaving rugs.
Yeah, like, is there any Captain America picking up Thor hammer moments left?
That's
like, they haven't set anything up. Like, we I mean, they might bring up something surprisingly, but it's not. Now their moments are like, hey, we got Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine again.
It's going to be forced. It's going to be 100% forced. Yeah. And I usually don't feel that way about certain things, but I could see it. Go ahead, Charles.
I'm sorry. You would need the parallel movie to what Infinity War was, because if I'm talking as a film fan, not a comic guy, but at the end of Infinity War, half the heroes got wiped out, and it was like this virtual cliffhanger where it's like, oh, what's going on? Like, I'm not used to stakes in these comic movies where it's like, oh, these people can die. As a matter of fact, half of them did. I need to see what the hell's going on next. You need to do that again, but you don't have that Infinity War parallel right now, unless Doomsday is going to be that. But
do you want a second Empire Strikes Back though? That close to get, you know what I mean? Like,
that's another thing too. What if Doomsday is just Infinity War reskinned, where we get essentially almost like the same kind of plot, where it's essentially a Doom movie where we're getting introduced to Doom, like they introduced Thanos, and at the end of it, Doom wins. And then our people are going to start drawing the parallels, because the leaks are this Tony Stark Doom, he is Victor Von Doom, but the new Doom is essentially going after incursions, or he was created by incursion, and he's trying to unify all the multiverses, and that's what Battleworld's going to be. If the rumors are true, so I mean, it would be one of those things.
Make sense that
So at the end of the movie, is it just going to be Battleworld, him victorious, and then we have to go into Secret Wars for the heroes to fight back? So are we just going to see like how Force Awakens was New Hope reskinned? Are we going to get? Is that what we're going to be seeing here with Doomsday? It's just essentially an Infinity War, but with new characters.
They could end up doing that, but the problem, though, goes back to the fact that you don't have the investment in these characters.
Yeah.
Like, Charles, you pointed out how as soon as Infinity War was over, you're like, I've got to see the rest of this. I need to know what happens now. And that's because we as a film audience were invested in these characters. We were invested in their stories leading up to this point. We had spent time with all of these characters. We had spent time with the Guardians. We had spent time with Captain America, with Iron Man, with all of them. So we really felt for them when half of them got wiped out. And then it was like, oh my gosh, how are they going to win now when half of them have been wiped out and they couldn't beat them all or beat Thanos all together? Where are they going to go from here? If they wipe out half of these people, I don't care, because
I might cheer.
I'm not invested in them.
Yeah. Like, oh no, the Fox universe has been wiped out. It's like,
and really, is it even the Fox universe? Because they're bringing them all in their like comic accurate suits. So wouldn't they be like different versions of the characters? Kind of like how Wolverine in Deadpool was technically a different Wolverine than the Fox. I mean, so even then we're not invested in them. It's all nostalgia bait.
No,
we're not going to care. Like when Peter Parker turns to dust, we're all crying in the theater, like, oh no, this is terrible. How is it going to get back? Now we're going to watch Doom wipe out entire multiverses, and we're just going to be like, whatever. I'm doing shit.
Especially since your Captain America is Falcon, which I think he's better as Falcon. Just being honest, I would have much rather seen a Falcon movie than that. And that doesn't even for me need to be like, I'm not even on the side of, well, Bucky needs to be Captain America. No, they should have just remained who they were, and they could have moved forward, because now you have a Captain America that doesn't draw. You have a Iron Man that's 18-year-old girl who had Tony Stark level tech made in her warehouse for her science project, her arc reactor. Like, what? Shut up. And that suit looks so bad. It looks so dumb. It looks so dumb in that show. It did. It looks so dumb. And you also have Black Widow, who I felt was the glue that held a lot of this stuff together, because she was in the Iron Man movies. A lot of people forget, like, Scarlett Johansson was a very big factor of holding a lot of that together. And she's no longer there. And you have who is the person that they're rallying around? Because if you want to talk about forced, I was one of the few people that, while I was watching the Thunderbolts, I enjoyed it until the last 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And when they step through that little curtain, and I just keep calling her Elaine Bennis. I'm just like, and Elaine was like, hey everybody, it's the new Avengers. And you're like, get the fuck out of here. Like, shut the fuck up. And they go to like Avengers Tower, and they're like, oh, what's this? It's a multiversal echo. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's a ship. Holy shit. Look at it. There's a big giant 4 on it. Like, and you're like, oh my God, dude. I've never seen like the last 10 minutes of a movie destroy everything that just came before it. And I was just like, God,
it happens. Dude. If I feel like I must White Knight for a moment here, and it's for Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's so much more than Elaine. Sadly, unlike the rest of the Seinfeld cast,
no, she does do a lot of stuff.
Works in
what I call her. That's what I
fair enough.
I'm not going to call her Veep,
Give me Elaine over Kramer any day.
Oh, 100%.
Well, I like Elaine's character more than Waller. I like her better than Waller. I liked her in Thunderbolts. What I don't understand though is it's connected universe. Why aren't they dipping into their A team? Like, why hasn't Chris Hemsworth's Thor showed up in like 75% of the movie? Like, you like how Black Widow was showing up everywhere. They should have had Thor, Hawkeye, somebody showing up and being that connective kind of thread. I do think that Falcon, Captain America could have been worked, but I don't think they ever gave him a chance to work. His TV series was terrible, and his movie wasn't even about him. So I think if you could have grown him as a character, that would have worked, because I like Anthony Mackie. But they haven't done any favors. Like, the crowd's probably going to cheer if Captain Marvel dies. Like, 100% we were probably going to clap. Like, there's characters in Fate, the new like post Endgame, that people are probably going to clap to see die.
Like, well, you don't want to see Aquafina, Marvel's Katie, have a big scene where she shoots another fucking arrow and destroys something like Galactus. You don't want to see that? No. I do. I mean, I'm waiting for it.
I'm glad you brought that up, Labs. That goes back to what I was saying, that they didn't even follow their own blueprint. Mm-hmm. That's a movie that should have been made on a ground level. That should have been a kung fu movie, a street level. Instead, they tried to make it this cosmic level thing, and by doing that, they tried to give it bigger stakes. But again, it didn't fit with what they should have been doing. They weren't following their own blueprint. They should have been building these characters up to that big event. Shang-Chi would have gotten his big event when he finally got to an Avengers movie. He didn't have to have this big cosmic level thing in his first movie. Keep it simple. Let us learn to love the character. And instead, they decided to do something completely different and screwed themselves over.
Yeah. Shang-Chi, dude, the master of kung fu. Like, there's a couple panels in Hickman's Avengers where they multiply him, right? And he kung fu's all this shit to oblivion, and it was awesome. But no, we have to have him, get kicked in the nuts by everybody.
Well, I mean, you could have had him street level kung fu movie type deal with a guest appearance with Daredevil, or recast Iron Fist. I mean, you could have played around and created and built up these a lot better. But we talked about this before. It seemed like after Endgame, Marvel wanted everything to be $1 billion movie, and they never. Like, Winter Soldier is a spy thriller for Captain America, so that works.
I agree. Great.
You bounce around to like these different genres. You allow these characters to play in those. Instead, it's like, no, we want to turn Shang-Chi into $1 billion movie. We want Thunderbolts to be $1 billion movie. We want all this stuff, and it's like, well, no, these aren't necessarily $1 billion characters. You could do smaller budgets and better films focused, more genre focused, and make better movies. Like, I'm happy that Clayface is a $40 million horror film, because a $40 horror film could make $300 million. There's a market for that. I want to see characters in their zone, so to speak. So then that way that, they could be more successful. It's more interesting that way.
$40 million horror film doesn't need to make 3. If it makes 100, that's double its budget back.
Absolutely, 100%.
Relatively speaking, it's
in today's market, a good horror film could be that $200-300 million movie too. So it's like you have a potential of a really good, successful film, with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, like, and Gray's right. The scene on the bus was awesome, but I thought I thought they missed a great opportunity. Like you have guys like Jackie Chan and Jet Li who are still alive and are producers, and you could have been like, hey, like, how do we make this kung fu? But no, we have to, Anyway,
it should have been
got to have rings that echo around the earth, and then there's this message that happens inside of them. And did you stare at all 10 of them? Because I didn't.
It should have been more of a Fist of Legend, Bruce Lee kind of feel to it. Jackie Chan, where you have a big fight at the end, but you don't have to go
rumbling
around on dragons and demons and all that stuff.
So great. I know you have put on the White Knight for today. and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because that's as much as we have these conversations about these two properties. I usually feel like every time I go see the movie, I'm usually one of the only people on whatever panel I'm on that was like, that wasn't that terrible. I mean, it was not great, but it wasn't as awful as that. But I can say with the Marvel shows, I have not been following any of them. I haven't even seen stuff since before Secret Origins or whatever they were trying to do. And like, I mean, Secret Invasion, sorry.
That was terrible.
And I didn't watch that. I heard Samuel Jackson kissed a scroll. So that's pretty cool. That's, I'm sure they were trying to make that the Kirk O'Hara moment for Disney Plus. But do you follow any of those things? Like, do you even give a shit about those?
Not as much as I used to. So I really dug some of them when they first came out, but it just feels like they've fumbled. Like, there's so many really awesome elements and then just such horrible execution. Like Moon Knight comes to mind. Like, there's so many awesome ways that could have gone, and then just
Moon Knight could have been amazing.
The actors involved are great. The costumes looked amazing, but man, if they would have just story that worked.
If they would have just followed Capuccio's run on Moon Knight, which they could have done, right? They could have done, because it literally reads like a movie where he's got the personality problem, right? And he runs this revenge business as Mr. Knight, and whenever he executes the revenge business, he's out as Moon Knight. Like, they could have done something like cool like that. Like the other thing, Hawkeye. The thing that pissed me off so bad is we got that scene. And I can't remember if it was Infinity War or Endgame, right? I think it was Endgame, where he's out there in Japan and he's doing a fight, and he's doing all that shit. And that's what the Hawkeye show should have been. What was he doing?
That would have been cool. Well, he's passing on the mantle. It's Christmas time. Come on, dude. You get to see the Prometheus statue in the tree.
Listen. I don't know if you watched, but did you watch Haley Steinfeld run?
Yeah,
that was some duck-footed ass running.
It was on ice. To be fair, it's not as easy as you'd think. Always
in the alley, she punched out that 300-pound man and then took off running. And those feet were.
Well, do you know how hard she punched him?
I mean, that was a hard punch. It was a hard. He was perfectly located with that Hawkeye vision.
It's hard for me to justify much of it. There are a couple of them that I will White Knight. You cannot tell me that Wanda and Agatha were not amazing cinema. They are so much better than they deserve to be. Maybe it's because I was over the Cape shit at that point, but man, it works on so many levels, and it has me excited for Mayo Vision. When Vision Quest comes out with White Vision, I'm really looking for it. It's gonna be awesome. I'm telling you, it's gonna wrap it all together. Then you're gonna get the Young Avengers, and we'll have that team that can then get taken out. It's gonna be fun. It was all leading to something, and this will be the culmination of it. I think it was an odd choice to say, hey, let's pass the mantle on to a bunch of kids and let's do it all on these TV shows that are, all like 10 episodes. That's going to take you a long time to get through. What can I say? Sadly, I sat through most of them. I think the only one I didn't see was, I didn't finish Ironheart, but soon enough. Echo. I couldn't think of that name. One day I'll watch Echo, but meh. And I guess I also haven't watched Eyes of Wakanda. But other than that, I think I've seen all of it.
Is that animated?
I'm not digging it. Yes.
Okay, so I saw I can't remember if it was a trailer or I saw something, and I didn't know if it was like a DVD release or a show. So that's probably what that was, the Eyes of Wakanda thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I liked WandaVision at first. I thought it was fun, until like I sat down and like thought about it, and like they just made her a villain, and I was like, huh.
Yeah, they did.
Like, she's one of your most popular characters that could potentially be like, hey, we still have big hitters. Like, we still have Wanda, we still have Thor, we still have Hawkeye still alive, we still have some of these characters, but no, she's gone. She's out there in the ether.
I want to rebut it, but my dogs are barking.
Finding fake children. No, you can talk, man. It's okay if the dogs are barking. Go ahead.
Cool. I think they're being quiet now. I hear what you're saying, but man, I want to see a villain that I have some empathy for, that I've seen that change, and then seeing that arc, and then the way that they executed it with like the different era of television per episode. Just man, for me,
I thought that was good. No, I thought that was cool, but the whole like her going on this big thing because of her fake children. Sorry, I can't get onto that.
Hey, they're not so fake no more. You should watch Agatha.
I did watch some of Agatha, and I did.
Then you didn't get it because it wraps all up at the end.
I'm sorry, Acolyte
it's ruined like the Acolyte worked
for me. Acolyte ruined singing witches for me, so
I didn't. No, I didn't. I saw the first 5 episodes of Agatha.
It ties together. There's a reason why everything happened in that way. There's layers to what you're actually seeing play out. If you haven't seen the end of it, I guarantee you, it might not be what you're thinking, and it solves a lot of the issues that you might have had earlier.
At least for me, like how she got pregnant and had a baby in like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Well, but magic though.
Oh, okay.
Magic, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wish they would have paid off some of this. Like, we should have had a Young Avengers movie by now.
Mayo Vision, it's coming, man.
Well,
we don't have a trailer yet, and they're refusing to show it, but soon.
But we've got the reboot coming up too. So a lot of this stuff, I mean, are we getting kind of like in a situation where is this the stuff is it going to matter? Like, is what happens in Mayo Vision going to matter for Doomsday or Secret Wars? I've heard that Scarlet Witch is part of Doomsday, or that her character is what Doom is looking for. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's not much. They do a lot of setups, but they no payoff. Like, they introduced Scar at a barbecue in She-Hulk. Like,
That was fucking hilarious.
That's just an Easter egg, man. You know, he's not real.
Like, oh, hey, it's my kid. You know, like.
But just wait. Doomsday or whatever is going to have new Avengers, young Avengers, classic Avengers. I'm sure there'll be other world Avengers too. You know, it's going to be a lot of people.
It's a lot to have put into 3 hours of movie.
It's gonna be, dude. That movie's gonna be 4 fucking hours, dude.
It's gonna have to be.
That movie's gonna be 7.5 hours, and there's gonna be
like
no intermission
cut of something like.
It's gonna come with commemorative pee bags and poop buckets built into
life-size Doom popcorn buckets.
You know, so I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just cynical because, like I said, the movies aren't really the big placeholder for me. Hold on, let me this is interesting right here. ZS. If you guys watch the Wonder Man trailer, I feel like that.
I haven't seen the trailer, but what I heard about that, it sounds interesting. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, and I hope it's not the She-Hulk levels of meta, but it's interesting.
Well, it's funny is if you remember last week's panel, my buddy John, me and John actually reviewed a bunch of Wonder Man comics on my channel, on the Laps Comic Fan channel, which was kind of fun. We did that in Starman, which was a trip down memory lane. Good old Starman. Fighting Japanese aliens. That's you know, that was his big thing. But yeah, but the DC universe, I watched Creature Commandos and I liked it. Did everybody else watch that? I know Gray, you watched it, right?
I think you might know where I stand.
Yes. Bob, you watched it?
Yeah, I liked Creature Commandos. It was actually see, that's a case where I think James Gunn's humor is perfect for. I was really digging Creature Commandos. Watching Frankenstein chase after the bride for over the course of a century or whatever, and every time he'd see her, he's like, "My love," you know. Only to turn around and her smack the hell out of him, you know. So overall, I liked Creature Commandos. I thought it was pretty well done. As far as the Marvel shows, yeah, give me the DC shows, at least the first couple that I've seen, you know, over the Marvel shows. There've been some stuff in the Marvel shows that I've liked. I actually did enjoy Hawkeye. That was one of the few that I did enjoy. I'm not saying that it was perfect because I really didn't like the addition of the Kingpin at the end of it. I thought they neutered the Kingpin. I really didn't like what they did there. But the show as a whole, I like the fact that Kate Bishop was actually kind of in awe of Hawkeye. You didn't see her like talking down to him the whole time and I know better than you and whatnot. No, she was actually in awe. I mean, this was like her hero here. So I like that. I know I wasn't a big fan of the show itself, Ms. Marvel, but I like the actress who played Ms. Marvel. I think they could have actually done something kind of interesting, and she's actually really liked the comics. So there's something that could have been done there. WandaVision, I really liked the first few episodes of it. I thought Marvel was off to a hot start there, and then the ending, it really fell flat for me. And then as the shows have gone on, they've just been getting progressively worse for me. I did like Daredevil, but I think it was unfair for a lot of people to compare it to the Netflix show because I don't think there was any way you could get the next Netflix show.
I think that the reason why is because the Disney was saying that. That was the problem. But yes, I understand.
Part of the issue also is that they did bring back some of the creative team to fix the problems with the show, and so you get kind of a Frankenstein monster of a show where part of it was the way Disney wanted it, and then the last few episodes of the way they kind of tried to string everything back together. And so it just doesn't work real well. But I agree there with you, Gray. DeMeo and X-Men 97. That's easily the best thing that Marvel has done on television. I really enjoyed X-Men 97. Yeah. But as far as the MCU goes, I think they've shit the bed on most of it.
Charles, what do you I know you probably don't give a shit about any of those shows. So
you might not guy.
No.
I did watch the WandaVision thing. That was probably the most recent.
Did you like
season. It was all right. I mean,
that is the best answer. That is
There's
the best
nothing
answer.
to get excited for with Marvel anymore. There's just nothing.
But, yeah. So, like, to my point about, I mean, what I forgot to mention between Infinity War and Endgame, they put out this terribly mid movie called Captain Marvel that made $1 billion. That mid-ass Captain Marvel movie, people are like, oh my God, I need to know what's coming up next. And they sandwiched that terrible movie in the middle there, and $1 billion worth of tickets were sold. To that point, I watched WandaVision, and when it was done, I was like, yeah, don't care what's happening moving forward. So it doesn't really matter what's happening.
What about Tommy and Billy?
Didn't care.
Yeah,
Did not care.
You didn't care about X-Men Quicksilver showing up?
No.
What about the ship of Theseus?
That was so cool. Did they make like a big dick joke about it? Like, that was good stuff, right? All right.
Yeah,
Tommy and Billy.
Jokes are great. There's nothing wrong with it.
I know what you mean, though. I do know what you mean. It definitely has. For me, it has. It's like I still go see the stuff, except for the shows, which you would think I would be watching that stuff. But I'm being honest, like I don't know the last thing I fully watched. I don't even think I fully watched Daredevil. I think the last thing that I
need to. It
didn't
doesn't live up to the Netflix thing, which, like, how could you not with the budget that they're doing, the actors that they brought in? But Marvel Zombies, it's not as bad as a lot of their other things, and you actually get to see like Mahershala Ali as Blade. It might be the only time.
I just still that bothers me. That bothers me. How do you take a stance as a company where we can't have this guy killing vampires because the real vampires in the world might get offended, as if like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, how does this happen? Just put Blade in there killing the shit out of vampires.
Yeah, give him an old crusty white guy to build him shit, and then have him kill freaking vampires.
It's
pretty
not
easy.
A hard thing, and people will line up to see it.
Yeah,
it's true, because that's the type of film that's the expectation, to see him kill vampires. When the last Rambo movie came out, there were a lot of people out there talking about how, this doesn't dive deep into Rambo's psyche, and they tried to make it political and all this stuff. And I was like, I don't care. I just want to see Rambo kill the bad guys. That's all I want to see. What's my expectation for this movie? When Godzilla and Kong came out, I just want to see the giant monsters fight. That's all I want to see. And that's what you need to do with Blade. Just put him in a movie killing vampires, and it's going to make money because that's the expectation for that character.
What was the last it
was
Rambo movie?
The John Rambo one, the one he takes on
it was Rambo Last Blood. In Rambo Last Blood, he was fighting off the Mexican cartels.
Which was the one with the Cambodians? And
that was John Rambo.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was
that one was
50 cal scene where he turned people into soup. That was great.
He turns on the driver of the truck.
Yeah, dude.
And you see, in that movie, met expectations because it had Rambo killing the bad guys.
Rambo being Rambo.
And that's what you do with Blade. You just have him killing vampires, and people will go see it.
So, like, do you think, like, when they have, like, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, there's going to be an awesome hand-to-hand combat scene where they weekend at Bernie's, both of them? Like, they're going to be fucking slapping each other with, like, Earl Grey tea? Like, I don't know. I'll pay to watch that, though. I'd do that. That would be fun. Well, I mean, guys, like, this is...
I mean, Earl Grey is a good tea, though.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I don't know. I don't drink tea, but
it's great. Bergamot, man. Orange peel.
Okay, I'll definitely try that out. I will. I have a lot of tea.
Do yourself a favor.
I have a bunch of tea upstairs. My wife drinks tea, and she likes it. I don't know. I stick to like pineapple soda, and other things that are probably killing the shit out of me. Yeah,
pretty awesome.
I can relate to that.
But yeah, so I mean, I appreciate everybody coming here. And I hope you guys have a great Halloween coming up. Are you guys doing anything for Halloween? Warren, are you gonna hang out with me on Halloween?
Sure. I mean, I'll probably be here drawing, so yeah, I can get online and hang out because I don't do anything for Halloween.
Gray, do you have any Halloween?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna stab a pumpkin at some point, but other than that, I'll be streaming here.
Awesome, Bob.
Actually, I'll probably spend it with some family.
Awesome,
and be handing out candy for trick or treaters and stuff. Actually, a couple of days before on Dad's Turn to Talk, we're gonna review Halloween, and so that should be a lot of fun. That's always fun to talk about that movie. So the original. So
okay.
So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to talk about that.
The original, or the 2007 original, or the 2018 original?
Yeah, the 1978 film. So
okay, so no Danny McBride. Okay.
Yeah, no Danny McBride.
Charles, are you gonna be doing anything for the illustrious Halloween?
Yeah, I'm with a group that we release a collaboration video on the 31st where we rank 31 horror movies. And
oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's just a little video.
A little, yeah. It's a yearly event.
Oh Jesus! I'm going to be here talking about my favorite candy and TV specials and other stupid things about Halloween. It's one of those things I just don't get. I wasn't allowed to trick or treat as a young person. I never have. My kid will be trick or treating, and that'll go get candy.
That's awesome. And any candy is acceptable as long as it's not circus peanuts. Just that is the worst thing known to man.
You guys know where the neighborhoods are where they give out fentanyl?
Yes. They're around MSKs.
Okay.
Go down to Industrial, turn up 32nd, and then when you get to Harbor Street, you're right.
Well, for 15 years, I was the neighborhood injecting fentanyl.
Nice.
So there's that. So I mean, not anymore, but moved over to crack, and that was great. And
it's cheaper,
easier to get. Just
a lot more fun. But yeah, guys. I mean, I appreciate everyone for being here. You're more than anybody here has a standing invite to come whenever I do any of these panel shows. You're more than welcome to come here, and I do appreciate having to put up and talking about things that I like. So if anybody ever has any ideas about stuff that they like, you're more than welcome to run it by me, and we could do that, because most of the stuff that I come up with is either based in like death metal music, comic books, or old television.
We can do a panel on weed and boobs.
I mean,
oh yeah,
I love weed.
Fan.
I don't smoke anymore, but I did for a long time, and I
don't smoke any less. So,
well, you've made up for what I don't smoke anymore. You just made up for that. So I mean, like, and boobs. Obviously, I have a ton of children, so definitely played along with that for a while. And mustard with asses.
It could be, or could they be pubes? It's like a Rorschach test.
Well, then you need some mustard nipples, if you will. There can be your bat suit with bat nipples and bat ass all into it, all in one. What a Schumacher thing to do, right?
Oh,
he's like, I know I'm making this superhero movie, but where's the nipples and where's the ass?
Kids will love it. Still have nipples.
I mean, George Clooney. I mean, I need that in there. One guy just like, my brother's wife, my sister-in-law. She loves George Clooney, and like anytime like I'm ever there, I just always give her shit. I'm like, dude, he looks like a butted out cigarette with potato head parts. Like, I mean, this is like the most beautiful man in the world at one point in time who just I don't get the Clooney. I mean, I just don't get it. I've never.
How do you not get the Clooney, man? He got the what was it, the Emperor haircut, Caesar haircut.
Nescafe.
It was popular. It was like It was like the Jennifer or whatever.
Oh, was it?
You know, it was a haircut that took everyone by storm.
What years was that happening, though?
I have no clue.
Oh, I know what you're talking about because I was in high school when that happened because everyone was doing it. Oh, the Gladiator helped out with that too.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it could have been years while I was like deep in the drugs, dude. So the outside world, unless you had heroin, was not really appealing to me at all. So, you know, I'm a horrible person. I was at one point.
No, you're not. You're
cool now.
You're a great man.
I mean, I'm better now, and I got better. You know?
Well, yeah.
So
you mentioned the Schumacher thing. Like, okay, so how did that guy make such bad movies? But he also made like Falling Down, 8mm.
Falling Down is great.
There's some other like amazing ones. I'm having trouble pulling them, but how does he get The Client back in the day was pretty decent.
Some days it's about cashing a check because those Batman checks are huge, and other days it's about making art.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If he would have made that movie with his own vision as opposed to Warner Brothers was like, look, we lost our McDonald's deal and we want a very lighthearted, Batman moving forward. I mean, who only knows what he would have made, going off of what we saw in Burton's Batman Returns. If he actually wanted to make his own vision and not very, like that was one franchise of two movies where the studio completely put themselves in the middle, because from Batman Forever they took out the giant scene with the giant bat, because it was too scary and things like that. And that was like one of a good scene from that movie that they took out. And who knows, man, because Falling Down is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
So good.
Yeah, there's some great lines in that movie, man. There's some great lines in that movie. But we will be reviewing coming up soon in a few weeks. We will be reviewing Rook Exodus Trade Number 1. I know, Warren, you've read that. Gray, you recently read that. I read that. Bob, I don't know if that's something you would want to do, but it is an awesome comic book. It is brand new. It's the art in it is phenomenal. Jason Fabok is, in my opinion, probably one of the best artists around right now. And the story is pretty much, for comics at least, it's kind of a new idea, which is always kind of fun. And but if you want to, I could send you a copy because I have a whole bunch of them. Sure. And yeah, we could, it's definitely good. Great. I mean, would you recommend it as like a cool book?
Oh, hell yeah. The art is like amazing. And then it's so many kind of sci-fi and fantasy things kind of put together in one. And just, man, I dig it. I cannot say enough good things without kind of spoiling it. But man, some of my favorite things put together in one.
Yeah. So it's new, which is neat. And what I like about the book is like, the way that it releases, it's not like a month-to-month book. They put together an arc of 6 issues, and then they put that out every month when it's done. So it's like you get your 6 issues here, then it takes a break. And then when the next 6 issues are done, you get those month to month. So it's not like something that's forced out there every month and the quality dips. It's only going to be Jason Fabok on pencils, and he does take forever, but the dude is amazing. Like his artwork is so much fun to look at. But we're going to do that. And I'm very much looking forward to the Saturday and Sunday morning cartoons. That's going to be a lot of fun, even though fucking Savage Dad was like, don't worry, Lapsed, we'll include the 70s in there. I'm like, dude, I was like a baby in the 70s. I mean, what do you want from me, man? Like, what do you want? I can't help it that I look younger than I actually am. I don't know. Maybe the heroin embalmed me and somehow it kept me fresh. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, probably not. But
makes a certain amount of sense.
I'm unabashed here. I have no shame. The shame that I have left a long time ago. Left me. But I appreciate everybody coming to the show. Warren, where can people catch you on YouTube, and what do you got coming up?
You can catch me on my YouTube channel, Lunchbox Warren and Lunchbox Comics, and I do draw streams on Tuesday, and I'm also going to be working in more game streams. I'm going through our Batman Arkham Origins right now, and you can also catch me on MSK show on Wednesdays, and tonight I'll be on there after here. And then you can also see me on Lapsus shows. I'll be showing up more and more because I'm trying to get out there more and trying to be more consistent with my streaming, even though I'm still failing at it. But
no. You just got to do it. That's all.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. I mean, that's what I used to do when I first started, like 6-7 years ago on YouTube. Like my first channel was just me talking for literally, like, I would do streams for like 7 hours. It's just me talking and then playing video games and talking and yelling and just, yeah, it was a disaster. But it was fun. So Gray, where can everybody catch you on YouTube and what are you up to, my man?
So Laughs has an amazing point, Warren. If you're not doing anything, you haven't failed. So I'm doing nothing. I've failed, but I'm on other people's channels. So go over and check out the MSK or sometimes I'm on the Thinkers on Thursdays on that darn Kiddies channel. Other than that, new content eventually. Hold your breath.
Bob loves movies.
Well, you can find me on my YouTube channel at Bob Loves Movies. Easiest way to find me. The channel's name is Was It Good? You can also find me on my secondary channel at Dad's Turn to Talk. Like I said, we're going to be doing a review of Halloween next week.
Nice.
Got a few things planned for the Halloween episode, so it should be pretty fun. We actually just did a review of Scary Movie, kind of looking back at that one. So,
oh hell yeah!
So that was a lot of fun to talk about that. I hadn't seen that movie in a long time, so that was pretty cool. And then, of course, unfortunately, you can find me on the MSK show on Mondays. I try to do most Mondays. Wasn't able to do this past one due to other commitments, but that night dentist hit again. But those are the places you can find me, and hope to be on here more often. So,
Charles, where can everybody catch you, my friend?
Right here, Willis Greedia.
Nice.
Big event coming up on the 31st.
Awesome, man. Awesome. That's great, man. I hope everybody has success in their channels. And Z, I am not trying to get people addicted to comic books and hoarding, because
first dates is free.
Yeah, my hoarding is different. I have in a completely other place that I keep most of my comic books. So it's not in my actual house. They will be once the construction is done, but right now they are not at my house. So, yeah.
It's better for when the feds show up.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's very true. They're
Also,
like, where did you get all of this?
What a humble brag, too, saying that you have an off-site storage location. But one day the construction will put it on site. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting it's gonna be like a 2-story library / office. It's gonna be cool.
Is it gonna have a ladder? Please say it has a ladder.
No, but it will have a door.
Well, of course.
You got to have like the entryway to it is a shelf that you pull a book and it moves aside.
Okay, so like I wish I could do that, but I will say this is the coolest part about it, in my opinion. That's gonna be all the walls in it are gonna have bookcases, and there's gonna be cut out for a couple windows. The desk is gonna be an oscillating desk that goes into the wall. I could spin it into the wall.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So then I could have just
like the trap and like Last Crusade, like it
kind of
will just like spin out and kind of
awesome, like man. I'll be able to spin it and then spin it back out, because like I don't use like a stationary computer. Most of my work's done through a laptop or over the phone, because most of the time I'm on the phone just yelling at people. Like that's usually what I do at work, and very little like do I actually have to do on the computer wise, because like I got most of the employees are they're very good workers. Like I make it so like the way that I try to be a boss is like I try to keep like the main bosses, they never have to talk to them like the workers. Like all I say is this: I will train you to do exactly what you need to do, and as long as you do it and you get it done by 11 p.m. at night, I don't care if you clock out 90 times a day. I don't care if you do whatever. Just get 8 hours and just get the work that I do done. If you have to hear from me about your work, then you'll have a problem. But if you're doing the work right, or if you have an issue, just call me and say, hey, I don't know how to do this or whatever, especially whenever you're billing the government. Like if you're billing them for moving stuff, I know it's very complicated, but I try to just make it to be the easiest work environment. And I also know like people have stuff that comes up especially when you work from home. It's like, something comes up with the kid, you got to go pick them up, whatever. I don't care when you do it. I don't care if you wake up at 4 p.m. and you want to work 4 to 12. I don't give a shit. Just get the work done and get it right. But
I have never not worked for an asshole. Wow.
There's some people that think I am an asshole though, because like I got very good at what I did because I did what they did. And I did the government billing and I knew how to do it. And that's why they put me in charge of it. And I'm kind of like a perfectionist when it comes to that. Like I want it to run smoothly. If I see mistakes, I can understand some, but I start getting very, and I can be a dick, but I mostly am not. I'm mostly not, because I understand what it's like to be in that position, especially whenever, it's decent money for them, but like I try, and that's the other thing. I try to get them the most money as possible because I also don't want people to leave because I don't want to have to train anybody new, because I would rather just put my email on and the sound up all the way, play video games while they work. So I don't want to lose. Awesome. I don't want to lose that, because if I do, then I'm going to be pissed. And I'm gonna have to work, and then I'm gonna be angry. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, and you can always catch me over at Laps Comic Fan. This is going to be the next book that I'm reviewing. I changed up the desk a little bit. I took a lot of the figures off, but this, whatever I have up here on whatever video I'm on, that will be the next book that I'm reviewing, or at least that'll be the video that is done. Because like I don't keep a schedule. I just make videos whenever I want to and whatever piques my fancy at that time. So yeah, I think that's good, man. We can just talk about random stuff for the next 10 minutes if you want to. Don't everybody jump in at once, please. I hate that. So Charles, like, you're the news dude. So what's your channel about? Like, do you just review movies, or is it like you just talk about anything? Or
for the most part, I try to keep it entertainment based, whether it's TV shows or movies. Every now and again, something comes up, and I try my best to avoid anything that's real or serious, because all of this is supposed to be an escape for me. I am
with you 100% on that. I dislike the real world politics put into my fake bullshit that I just want to be like, dude, can the Flash just run real fast, please? And let that fix the problems of the fake universe?
He can't outrun racism.
Well, no, maybe if he ran so fast. Bob, I know that I watched a bunch of your reviews. What was it? Not this past week. It might have been the week before. And I have The Naked Gun, which I will be watching tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to let me know what you think about it.
I definitely will. I'm as big of a Leslie Nielsen fan as I am. Like I said, I have even all his terrible movies. Like I said, 2001: A Space Travesty might be one of the worst movies I have ever seen. Let alone, and Spy Hard is really bad too. It's got Andy Griffith in it.
Spy Hard's amazing, man. Dude, Spy Hard has the Weird Al intro. It's great.
Dude, compared to like
Wrongfully Accused?
Wrongfully Accused. The first 45 minutes of Wrongfully Accused might be the funniest shit I've ever seen. Dude, there's a whole thing. If you listen to like the conversations that are happening in the background of Wrongfully Accused, it's like its own movie. Like the Hibbing Goodhue character. There's this scene where like Leslie Nielsen's Ryan Harrison. He's going to this party, right? And he's trying to like figure out like who the players are, and Hibbing is like yelling at this woman, right? And then you listen off into the distance, and then after he's talking to this woman, he's being interviewed for like television or whatever, and he's like, the Leslie Nielsen character's talking, but you listen in the background, and he's like, Yes, Hibbing Goodhue. Yes, I've known him since I went to college with him at Cherry Pants Upon Buttocks. And you're just like, what the fuck are they talking about? And they actually pay that off later in the movie. And you're like, why? Why is that a thing?
Pound for pound, I will take Wrongfully Accused and Spy Hard over. And I love Mel Brooks, but Dracula Dead and Loving It. That's not as good.
Yeah, okay. Yes, that's not a good movie. Yes.
See, I actually like Dracula Dead and Loving It, and that's not because I think it's good. I just happen to like it. For whatever reason, it just makes me laugh. And again, I don't think it's good, but there are just some things that in there that make me laugh, like that psychiatrist who wants to give everybody an enema. I just
fair enough. I like that one too. It's one of my lower Mel Brooks ones, and it's sadly one of my lower Leslie Nielsen ones. But Laps, are you familiar with like Akiva Schaffer at all? He's the dude from Lonely Island. So he made like, oh, please. Charles.
Oh, wait.
No, he directed Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sorry, did I step on what you were going to say anyway?
One of them. Yeah, so he's the guy who directed this remake of it, but he's the dude who did like Hot Rod. If you watched the Chip and Dale one a couple years ago, it was actually kind of decent for a reboot.
The Chip and Dale
thing?
Popstar is great.
Popstar, Never Stopping or whatever the hell. Yeah, that's the one.
I might know, like I'd have to watch, like, look it up and see like the movies or the shows that he's done, but I'd have to look. Because I'm very bad when it comes to people's names, like directors and stuff like that, because I don't pay attention to that.
I like
did you see Hot Rod back in the day?
Yes, I have.
So it's that dude. He has a certain type of comedy. It is kind of slapsticky, but
like Pat Proft. Pat Proft. He did a lot of those, movies. He did Wrongfully Accused. He did Hot Shots Part 2.
Part 2 is so great. I love the topping choice in the fight scene. Just so
good.
Just there's so many Loaded Weapon. It's just so stupid.
Oh, Loaded Weapon was awesome.
I haven't thought about Spy Hard forever. Now I need to go look that up and watch it again because
the Weird Al opening alone, it works so well for me. The fat chick swimming, it's great.
I really like the Mr. Bean actor with those spy movies he did. He did 2 of them, and there was that one
Johnny English or whatever.
Yes.
Guys
doing like all the parkour, and he's just calmly going through the doors, takes an elevator, and actually beats him down the building. And this guy's like doing all this fancy parkour stuff all over the place.
Actually, Professor Savage Dad, I'm actually sweating. That's why I'm red. I usually wear a hoodie in my basement, but I blasted the heat, and it's what's nice is I just got the new ductwork installed, so like I put a heating vent, I cut into it and put my own vent over there and one over here, so it's pretty nice down here. But
custom vents too. Or
I did that myself. No, I did that myself. So if you actually took the vents off and saw the cut job, it looks like someone did it with safety scissors. Like it's not good, dude. Trust me. But the air does come out of there.
What a Walter?
Duct work. Not duck work.
No, I've got my own personalized duck run. It's right above my head. It's great.
Well, I mean, like I've thought about getting some ducks. No, I haven't. I'm lying.
Do they do anything?
Their eggs are different.
No, well, would they do anything? Yes, they would accompany me on my gallant adventures outside the house, which happens about like once every 6 months.
Here comes Laps with his duck army.
Well, I do go hunting. Like that's my like I said, it's 2 weeks out of the year. I'm either up in a tree stand or in the bushes waiting for turkeys. That's my big.
Just buy them in the store.
I like, dude. Where I live, it's a pastime, my man.
They do all the work for you. Just go pick out the one you. Some of them are heavier than others.
Fresh, never frozen.
Listen, that is true. That is very true, right? But I can also get it for free.
Well, you got to pay for at least one shell.
I don't pay for bullets. I got a bullet maker. He lives behind these like bookcases.
Oh, fair enough.
So he's a very nice guy. He's a very nice guy. No, he's not. He's a jerk. I'm not paying him anything. I haven't loosened his chain in a few years either. Keep scratching on the back of there, man. Like, it's really fucking annoying. Last time I punched him in the face, dude, broke my hand because I'm a pussy. So, you know, gotta work on that skill too. It's not going good. So this is hit rock bottom now. So I'm gonna let you guys all go back to your regular lives where I'm not a part of it, where it makes it infinitesimally better. So, you know, enjoy the rest of your nights and your weeks coming up. Yeah, I hope everybody has a great Halloween. I'm not being racist. I am being old.
Well, I mean, we assumed the race of the bullet maker. Maybe that's on us.
Oh no. He's definitely a white guy. Because, you know, why would I leave bullets be made up? No, I'm just joking. I don't even know. Is that a thing? do different races make worse bullets?
I knew you had an old Batman character. I didn't know you had a racist Batman character.
Oh, old Batman is so racist. Oh God, dude. Like, I'll be honest, like, I'm surprised some of my old videos, like, it's probably because I have no subscribers, you know, because I'm like under 400, like right under 400, but like, dude, some of those are really, really bad. Like, just the whole thing, like, where in the late, like, you know, he thought MSK was buckwheat. He still thought the Little Rascals was a thing, and he's searching for MSK through different streams. And wait till I show up on MSK's show as old Batman. He's not going to be happy. He hates old Batman. As he said to me, Lapsed, I know it's you who's old Batman. Like, oh, good work, MSK. You fucking genius. She said that to me. I was like, what gave it away? Was it me or was it me? Like, what part of that didn't you get?
Was it that old Batman happens to be broadcasting from the same area where I do?
Well, think of this, though. I had talked about this. I thought this would be a great idea. I was thinking about, I have a green screen room, right? I was thinking about filming some stuff as old Batman, inviting MSK on the show, right? And having me, instead of like it being me live, it's a video of just like for an hour of me just being like, and then being quiet and him talk, and then I appear as old Batman in the show.
Then he'll be like, wait a minute, I thought you were old Batman, Laps.
They're like, no, it's Warren. I thought of doing that. Me and Savage Dad were talking about how we could make that work. So we're gonna figure it out. But all right, everyone. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you all for showing up. I appreciate each and every one of you for putting up with my random retardation. And I love the conversation with all of you guys. And you know, this channel is hopefully gets somewhere and would be nothing if it was just me. We've already seen what that type of channel can do, and it doesn't do well. It doesn't do good. So I appreciate you guys very much. And have a good night. And yeah, we'll wait for you know, StreamYard to take its time ending the stream. So